Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Vanja kalpa tarupchecha kripa sindhupye vacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Aratyo bhagavan brajesha tanayas tattama brindavanam ramya kachit upasana brajavadhu vargena ya kalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Mamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabho Matam Idam Tatradara Nakparaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. So welcome again to the 5th episode of Holy Dhams and covering some more holy places. And today we plan to cover the part 2 of Sri Giri Govardhan Parikrama. So parikrama means circumambulating or walking around with devotion, and this is applicable only to holy dhams. So Giri Govardhan is actually an amsa of Lord Krishna himself. So that is a beauty. And now, so last class we actually just had a glimpse, and then we really covered little of the parikrama of the Govardhan. So there are actually two sides. There is an eastern side and the western side. So Giri Govardhan, if you see, it is really lying like this to north to south. On the northern side, we have Radhakunda, Shyamakunda, and so many wonderful places where our acharyas live. And at the southern side, it is like a tail of a peacock. Or they also say that maybe it's a tail of a cow or something. So northern side is Radhakunda and Shyamakunda, and the south tip is the Punchari. That is the actual tip is called Punchari. So this part, which is basically called Punchari, is raised high like a peacock's tail, as I mentioned. So here, Parikrama of Govardhan, so if you see that there is a eastern side and also a western side, right, and south side. And so south is basically the tip that you are seeing. So that is the Punchari. Punchari means actually tail of a cow, like or as the tail of a peacock. Okay. So here, the people normally, devotees do the Parikrama. West side and also east side. Doesn't matter how they really started, where they start, but when they really go around, they have to come back to the same place to complete the parikrama. So last time we just touched on Dangati, but we could not continue because of the time. So this place you see is the Dangati temple. Okay, so Dangati is situated in the middle of the Govardhana on one side. Many devotees actually start the Govardhan Parikrama from this place and go around and come back here to complete. So this place is also a good place to really have something to eat. When you are actually going for Parikrama, you will be hungry too. So this is one of the places where, actually we also stayed nearby once when we really went there. So inside this temple, there is a old tree. Now it is actually dead, it's not living anymore, which is the very same tree under which Krishna used to stand and demand toll tax. Okay, which we are actually going to just to really get a glimpse of that. So this place around Dangati is very, very special actually. So this place, what you really see is next to the Dangati, and it's a place where Lord Krishna and Gopas demanded toll tax from the gopis. So this pastime has been beautifully described in Dana Keli Chintamani. That's a nice book, actually wonderful book written by our Guru Acharyas. So we also made a drama on this and named Dana Keli Chintamani. So we also staged this drama even in Nigeria also. So even today, a toll tax must be paid to pass through this place. It's like a custom. So the toll tax idea, toll road and toll tax idea is not new. Krishna already had that idea. So I showed last time about the Govinda Kunda. Lord Indra was offering Abhishek to Krishna when he surrendered after he was really trying to really beat Govardhan. So then that time he really also brought Surabhi cow and then gave Abhishek, and that water is called Govinda Kunda that you can see. So near the place once on the side, Baguri Muni was performing a big fire sacrifice for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. The cowherd boys and girls were bringing ghee, butter, milk, and so many things for the sacrifice from different places. So from the other side of Dangati, Srimati Radhika and her Sakhis were also bringing yogurt, milk, butter, and various kinds of milk sweets, carrying them on their heads. Every time gopis like this cross this place to come to Govardhan, Krishna with his friends Sakhas, Subala, Madhumangal and all the other Sakhas always obstructed their path and forcefully demanded to toll tax. So Krishna will say, this is my property, so you have to pay tax to use this place. Okay, so this was always happening. Every single time they really do this, always happening. They always were bothering. So these gopis once then thought they wanted to put an end to it, end to this problem. So one day they said, all right, we will give you tax because, okay, as you are asking, every time we are arguing and then we are not paying the tax. Okay, good. Then tomorrow we will bring your tax, all the tax. What are the taxes? They were demanding about diamonds and necklaces and this and everything because they were telling that you have all of arrears. So many days you haven't paid the tax. So you have, you have to bring all so much. So they said, yeah, no problem, we will bring tomorrow. And then the Krishna and Gopals, they were so happy and agreed to come on the next day. But the gopis made a secret plan to teach Krishna and Gopals. What did they do? They came, and in this place, there were a lot of trees and very dense place actually. So they came and then they were hiding behind these trees, waiting for Krishna and Gopals to really come and then ask for the toll tax. Only few gopis showed up. Lalita was actually one of them, and they really showed up carrying, saying, they were saying, so Krishna was wondering, how come only you two have come? What about others? They haven't really. No, they are supposed to bring the tax as they promised yesterday. So they told, yeah, they will be coming. Yeah, they are actually coming behind. And Lalita immediately, just took a whistle and she blew the whistle. And all the gopis, they were hiding around the places. They all jumped and ran with folds, with sticks. They really have, they had sticks also in their hands. They came and then caught hold of all these, Gopals and Krishna, everyone. And you know what? What they did? You have the kudumi, right? Kudumi. They tied on the kudumi some rope and then tied that on the branches of the trees. They were just hanging. They could not really go, and they tied the hands and everything, and then with a stick, they were beating like crazy, and all the Gopas were crying and crying and crying. This is the place. Okay, and where that actually was happening. Dana Nivartana Kunda. That means they are actually going. What that means is, gopis actually reclaimed. There was no tax or something. They did not really pay any tax. So the Gopas were crying, and Krishna was already caught. And then what they did? Krishna was caught, and all the gopis, they really trust Krishna as a gopi. They brought sari and all the blouse and everything. They actually put put a decorated Krishna because now he's caught. And they put kumkum on the hair. They put a yogurt pot saying that, see, this is what we are carrying. You should carry. So they really put the yogurt pot on top of Krishna's head and now demanded, you have to now pay as tax. So while Krishna was just carrying and the argument was going on, Lalita actually took a stone nearby and threw it on the pot, and the pot broke, and all the yogurt and all the butter, everything all were spilling on Krishna. And then gopis took a stick and chastising Krishna. You have to give promise that you will never ask toll tax again. And you will not even come here to bother us, at this place. And they really ask him to do, hold your, ears and do, what is that called? I don't know what exactly the name in English. Thopukaranam, right? They really, ask him to really do this and give the promise. You will never come and never ask for these kind of things. And then, yes. So this incident actually is nicely decorated in the Dhanakeli Chindamani. Okay, so this is the scene actually. And in fact, when we were in, I was in Nigeria, we really, every time we really went, of course, we really wanted to, we stage two dramas sometimes every time. So like that. And this also we really did that. But you won't believe, I had only 3, because I went only for a few days, right? So 3 or 4 rehearsals, that's it. And
put it on your forehead and make you carry out when you got spots on your head.
Let us apply Sindura on his head.
Now you should pay Sindura tax and weight tax.
We can have more fun.
Sure, I am going to break his pot to stone.
See, they actually did so many things. In fact, they painted. I mean, they were so hard workers.
This is really a great fun.
So, anyway, so that was part of the drama. You got the idea about. So, this is all Dhanakeli Chindamani. That happened in the Dhanagati play. That's a play. So, when you go there, you have to remember all these pastimes. Otherwise, you cannot really enjoy. You cannot really, really see the real parikrama. Now, next one. Some of you might have heard about this Nathdwara temple. Okay, Nathdwara temple is very famous. This is in North India. It is about 48 kilometers northeast of Udaipur, okay, Rajasthan, right? So Udaipur, and this is a very, very big temple. It is said that this temple is one of the most visited temple in India. So there is a history behind this very famous temple of Srinathji. So the deity, which you are actually seeing on the right side is Srinath. Srinathji is actually very, very powerful, and there is a big history which really happened in the foothill of Govardhan. So this Srinathji deity is mainly worshipped by Vallabhacharya Sampradaya. So the Vallabhacharya Sampradaya actually runs in the root parampara of Rudra Sampradaya. So we have Sri Sampradaya, right? That is actually you have, mostly in South India, etc. Ramanujacharya is a prominent acharya. Then Madhva Sampradaya, where we belong, right? Madhva and then Gaudi Sampradaya. And Rudra Sampradaya, and then 4 Kumaras. 4 Kumaras Sampradaya. So that Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya is where Vallabhacharya is coming. So in that, the Sampradaya, they worship Srinathji a lot. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the appearance history of Srinathji. It's very mysterious. He appeared in Govardhan. And most of you may know about Sri Madhavendra Puri. So who is Madhavendra Puri? Madhavendra Puri is the Param Guru, right, Grand Guru of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ishwara Puri, and then Madhavendra Puri is his Guru. So he really comes in the Madhva Sampradaya. So he once came to this place, and one day he was performing bhajana near this Govindakunda again, same place where I was really talking about. So unlike now, Govindakunda was surrounded by lush and green trees and beautiful to see, not like now. Nowadays, everything all cut out. So Sri Madhavendra Puri would not even bother to go out to beg because he was a very top class devotee. He will never bother to even ask anyone to really any bhiksha. So whatever that anyone gives, he will eat. Otherwise, he will go hungry. So this time, of course, he was not eating, and 2 or 3 days have really gone. He was so absorbed in his bhajana that he even became unconscious about his body. He even forgot, he is in the body or not even. On the 3rd day, at actually midday, a cowherd boy whose complexion was darkish blue, shama color, arrived there, carrying a pot of milk in his hand. The boy said, "Oh Baba, nobody should remain hungry in this braja. My mother saw you as she was passing by to fetch some water from the well, and she told me that you may be actually sitting here hungry and thirsty. So my mother asked me to bring this milk for you. I am going back to herd the cows, but when I return, I will collect the pot." So like that, he gave the pot, and saying this, the boy quickly left. This is the exact place this happened. What you see on the left side, this place, the place where it actually happened. So that was the place where Sri Madhavendra Puri was sitting. So he drank the milk, and when he drank the milk, he felt something very ecstatic. This is not ordinary milk. The fragrance and the power, it was actually, he is feeling so ecstatic, and he was fainting, and he became so overwhelmed, and he was actually, he just got up and then again fainted, and he could not concentrate on his bhajana, of course, and he was thinking about who is this boy, what is this milk, and then he was thinking, but he said, that boy said he is going to come, right, to really collect the pot. So he was waiting with tear-filled eyes. So he was waiting for the black complexion's boy to return. Night, evening went. Night also went. And he was, just thinking about the boy. After midnight, at early morning, maybe around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., he just dozed off. He basically fell asleep just like that. And he saw the dream. In the dream, the same boy came and he told, "Oh Baba, I am Gopala, the son of Nanda Maharaj. My other name is Srinathji. Maharaj Vajrabhanu." Who is Vajrabhanu? Great grandson of Dwaraka Krishna. He came and then installed me near here on the top of Giriraj long ago. In fear of these barbaric Muslims, the priests had to really hide me and bury me under the earth nearby in this Govardhana. I have been thirsty and hungry for so many months, and I am feeling so hot also. I have been waiting for you for a long time to come. I want you to take me out of the earth and serve me. So the boy also indicated, this is exactly the place. You go here and then make a turn here, you will see something. That is the place that I am buried under. Then boy vanished. And Madhavendra Puri got up. It was early in the morning, but he was immediately rushing to really, tell some of the Brajavasis because we need to have something to dig, So, so he was actually telling all the nearby Brajavasis, and they were all so happy. On the villages, people, they all came. And they dug at the same place where what was really given, the narrated by the boy in the dream. Yes, they found the Gopal deity under the ground. That is the same, exactly the exact same deity that you are seeing on the right side, which is now kept in where? In the Srinathji's temple in Nathdwara. Okay, that I was talking about near in Rajasthan. So these, when they really found Srinathji, the Brajavasis were so happy. They all immediately built a small altar on top of the hill and seated the Srinathji deity on a throne. And for many days, Srinathji received a splendid bathing ceremony every day. and abundant milk, yogurt, clarified butter, sugar and honey. There were all lot of offerings were actually done. Then the Brajavasis also offered Annakuta. What is Annakuta? Remember that in the Govardhan Puja, we are offering so many things, right, to the Lord. It's called Annakuta. They performed Annakuta there also to Srinathji. So they really offered so much of cooked grains and dal and rice and kachori, puri, so many things they really offered. Later, due to Aurangzeb's atrocity, this deity was moved to Nathdwara. That's about 48 kilometers northeast of Udaipur, the city of Rajasthan. Okay, this is a very, very grand place. We can see this is the most visited place in India. Okay, now let us keep on moving. And when we really keep walking around the Govardhan, we'll see so many lakes actually. This one of the lake I am going to talk about, the Chandra Sarovar. Okay, so this is actually situated near a village called Parasoli. This Parasoli is a very, very famous place. This is the place where every time that Lord Krishna performed Maharasa dance. Maharasa dance is the grand version of the Rasa dance. Rasa dance happens every night. Every night he actually performs. But only when in the Sharad Purnima, the night of Sharad Purnima, that really passed during the, just before the Parikrama time, I believe there is Sharad Purnima. So it is said that the moon, so on this particular place called Chandra Sarovar. Chandra means moon, Sarovar means lake. Okay, so this place, when Lord Krishna was performing the grand Rasa Leela, that Maharasa dance, the moon froze, did not move. And then he also, the whole Maharasa dance was performed. How much time? 1 day of Lord Brahma. How is it possible? This is where we have to understand. When you meditate, when you advance in spirituality, Krishna consciousness, you will go beyond time. So this is exactly what happened when Lord Krishna performed. He really took everybody away and he stopped the Kala. Kala means time. Time factor was out, ruled out. And the Maharasa was actually going on to perform for 4.32 billion years. That is the day of one Lord Brahma. Just to see how he can manipulate the times and all. So that this place is representing that incident, which is Chandra Sarovar. Chandra means moon, so this lake is called Chandra Sarovara. Okay, you can visualize that scene in this picture. You see the moon, right? That is fixed in one place. And that's a Chandra Sarovar. You can think about that. And this Rasa dance was going for one full night time of Lord Brahma. Also, very near to this Chandra Sarovara, under a tree called, that tree is called Chonkara. Chonkara tree. Okay, this is North Indians, what are the name? Chonkara tree. That is a place under which this Vallabhacharya that I mentioned, who is a great, he is worshipper of Srinathji. You are actually seeing the deity also there in the picture. And he used to sit there. And later, there was a very great saintly person called Surdas. Sur means basically, no eyes. I mean, he was blind, completely blind. So this Surdas, I really covered this as a separate Harikatha in our Friday program. So he was totally blind, but he was so divine. So the Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi of Surdas is also here, near the Chandra Sarovara. The deity they worshipped that time was the same Srinathji that I mentioned, which is now in Nathdwara. So Surdas, even though completely blind, was always in spiritual vision. Every day he used to see the decorated deity, not through his gross mundane eyes, but his spiritual vision, he can see everything. And he used to, as soon as the door opens, and he see the decoration, and he used to sing bhajan, this song, or just spontaneously that will come, and he will describe the beauty of Srinathji, Lord Krishna, so nicely in poems. So this was happening every day, and one day the priest wanted to just tease him and test Surdas. How is he? Maybe he has the vision, like he's blind. How is he really describing? No, because it's all closed. Basically, he cannot see anything. Absolutely nothing. So he wanted to tease. So that day, the priest did not dress Srinathji, but left him completely naked. Then he opened the door of the altar and asked, "Oh, Sri Surdasji, please describe the beautiful decoration of Srinathji." Surdas remained silent for a few moments. But the priest was saying, "Please describe." Then Sri Surdas immediately jumped and sang loudly. He proceeded to sing, "Ahadibaye Hari Nangam Nanga." Like that he started. "Today, my Hari, Srinathji is undressed and naked." So all those who presented, also they were present there, were stunned. Soon after this incident, actually, Surdas left his body. So due to intense separation from Lord Krishna. So we can see his samadhi that you are seeing on the picture on the right. So it is near Chandra Sarovara. Okay, as we move on in our parikrama, we will see a place called Surya Kunda. Okay, Surya Kunda. So every day, so what you really see on the picture is that same Surya Kunda. So Radharani every day used to go to this place to worship sun god. Why sun god? Radharani is the source of sun god. She is the source of all the energies. She is a Sakti, Parasakti. Actual Parasakti is Srimati Radharani, from whom all the other goddesses like Lakshmi, Parvati, Saraswati, everybody get their power only from Radharani after meditating for so many thousands of years. Then why Radharani was going to the place to worship sun god? Actually, this is a disguise to really meet Sri Krishna. That is why she really goes there. Okay, and also to give darshan to the sun god. So this is the thing. So he is not really going in the disguise of worshipping sun god. He really goes there to meet Krishna. How Krishna is actually coming there? Krishna in disguise. He really make him as a priest, and he comes there with Madhumangal. So he is close friend, Madhumangal. So these both, because Madhumangal was actually a Brahmana. He was very stout though, right? Brahmana. So now disguising as a young priest, so Krishna will actually recite the mantra, and the gopis, Radharani gopis are supposed to recite anyway. So what do they say? Oh, Mitraye Namaha. Mitra means two meanings. Mitra means sun god. Mitra also means my dearmost. Okay, there is two meanings. So who is the Mitra here? The Mitra is Krishna. So then the gopis, after the puja is over, he does all kinds of things, and so that so it's all part of his leela. And then the gopis, then they really give us one golden ring and a lot of laddu. So Madhumangal was the assistant to Krishna. So assistant priest, right? And then all the gopas used to really bring a lot of laddus, or so much of laddus. So they will actually offer to the priest, saying, yes, this is our dakshana. And then Krishna used to say, no. I am a brahmachari. I cannot really touch, or I cannot even see any woman. No way, I cannot accept. And Madhumangal immediately will jump and then say, I can take it. He grabs all the laddus and everything. And what does he do? He puts everything, because he wants to eat everything by himself. Okay. So he really puts the things in the pocket here, and then there's all wherever he can hide, he puts everything. And then he goes to a place called Gwala Pokhara. What is this Gwala Pokhara? Gwala means Gopas. Pokhara means it's basically a place where there's a lake for the cows to drink water and everything. It was a very beautiful place with thick trees and creepers. What you are seeing is the current, now this is the Gwala Pokhara that you will see. Madhumangal would be carrying that laddu is called Manohara laddu. Manohara laddu, right? So he will carry here, he will just bring here to eat. So by the time the nearby Gopas, they're all cow herding, they all will rush. They know, okay, he must be coming from the Surya Kunda, Puja, he must be having the laddu, they know that. They immediately come, and because Madhumangal is stout anyway, he cannot run also, right? And he was so fond of eating all the times, okay, especially laddus means that's his life, okay. So he used to carefully hide all those things. And now, Balaram, seeing this one, he will give a hint, okay, he will ask, okay, because he knows, okay, he must be definitely having a lot of things. Hey, Madhumangal, why are you so stout now? What, are you hiding anything there inside? What do you have? What are you carrying? Madhumangal said, no, nothing. I don't have anything. Then Balaram would say, give a signal to his friend Sakas. Hey, grab them. Grab all of them, all the laddus. And what happens? Some Gopas will really catch Madhumangal's hands, and some of them just hold him back, and some of them they just they hide close the eyes so that he cannot see anything, and they forcefully snatch away all these laddus and they will start eating. Madhumangal used to fight with them. And in the course of fight, Madhumangal's cloth also would lose. Why? Because he put so much of laddus here and there. How much weight it will carry? Then it will try to come out, and everybody will be laughing and laughing. And Madhumangal will be so angry, and he will really pull the sacred thread and say, "I am going to curse you guys." Then Krishna will come. Come on. You are okay. Calm down. Give it to everybody. Let them all also share. You have to share. Like that, this is the place where all these kind of things actually happens. Okay, so finally Madhumangal won't have anything, and they say, he will beg because he wants to eat all the time. So he will ask the Gopas, please give me at least something, whatever that you have, and they will give some little, some crumbs, little bit there, and everybody will be laughing and laughing. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to this place, he was really, just to remember all these pastimes and spend some time here. Now, when we move along the parikrama, we will come to this place called Manasi Ganga. Okay, Manasi Ganga. Manasi means mind. Ganga is Ganga, holy river. So once, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, along with many other elder Gopas, Gopas and Gopis, and all, they all wanted to go to Ganges to take bath. They all came along with Krishna, and on the way, they all stayed at this place. It was a long journey to go to Ganges, but Krishna was thinking, why they should really go to all the way to Ganges, and where I can bring Ganges here. So to fulfill their desires, Krishna asked Ganga Devi to come and appear there. And at once, Bhagirathi Ganga, strong current, brought her to this spot, making a sweet sound. It was coming with so sweet sound, and a big pond, a lake, as you see here. It was very big lake that time, very big, and it was actually getting formed. That happened at this place. At the head of this current was Sri Ganga Devi, and sitting on an alligator. This darshan astonished Nanda Baba, Yashoda, and the Gopas and Gopis, and the Brajavasis. And then they decided, yes, Ganges is here now, so we will take bath here. We don't have to travel all the way to the far away. So they took bath here. And this particular place, Manasi Ganga, is one of the very important place around at the foothill of Govardhan. So this Manasi Ganga is the same place. So many Leelas used to happen. And I will tell you just one which is actually very famous, which is also described in so many scriptures also by our Acharyas. Lord Krishna came here as disguised as a boatman, an old boatman. And what did he do? Because what happened to us? Remember I was telling that gopis used to carry the butter pots and all the yogurt and everything to come across to give for the fire sacrifice for fire sacrifices. So they used to come. And one time when they came, it was, by the time they were leaving, it was very getting dark. Very dark, and then they were coming because they had to cross the lake to go to the other side. They have to cross, there's no other way. So there used to be boats coming back and forth. Some boatsman used to really take them, like here to there. So this time, that day, happened to be late, and the gopis were hurry, and they were looking for a boatman to really take them to the other side. But no one was there. It was some arrangement or whatever. No one was there. No boat, nothing. They were scared what to do. And they were wondering, is there any boatman here to really take us? And it was already getting darker. And there was one very, very old man. He couldn't even walk properly. He was coming. You need some help? Okay, what do you want? We want some boatman. I can take you to over there to the other side. No, you are too too old. I don't think that you will be able to do it. No, I can do it. Do one thing. You give all the yogurts and everything there you have, give it to me. I will eat, and then I will be strong to really do it. So they said, okay, there was no one else. Absolutely no one else. It's getting dark. And they gave, okay, eat. At least eat, and then, take it to the other side. Hurry up. But he was eating and eating, taking his own time and everything. And it was going and going. And finally, all right, go. Go and then take the boat. All right. You got to really, to hold me. Otherwise, I won't be able to really get to the boat because I am so old. So finally, they were really, leading them to get in the boat. And he started the boat, and slowly he was rowing, and then saying, all of a sudden, he said, I have a problem. What is that? It's getting late. See, the thing is, I ate too much. I think I need some nap. I have no time to take any sleep here. This is serious. You have to really, really help us. Take us there. Okay, all right. Do one thing then. Okay, at least you massage my feet. This is very bad. You are an old man and then we are all ladies. How can you really ask like this? No, otherwise I cannot because I don't have any strength. So then they were massaging. And then he was really started to take the boat and going slowly. Everybody was saying, oh, hurry up. In the middle of the lake, he stopped. I think now I cannot really do anymore because I am really so tired. And now that time, he also, who is that? That Krishna. So that time a big storm was manifested. The storm was really coming, and then the boat started rocking now. And they were all afraid. What will happen to us? And now not only that, the water was actually coming in, and because of the water, the boat started singing. And the old man, he is Krishna, he said, oh, you know what, my boat is now getting too heavy. You have to throw out the things. Throw everything. So they said, okay, throw out your yogurt pot, these and everything, and your ornaments also, everything. Otherwise we cannot make it. He made them to throw everything. And then a big storm came, and they were all about to sing, and then Krishna manifested saying, oh, it is me. Then that's the time Radharani actually, out of fear, caught hold of the boatman, and then he became, came as Krishna. So many pastimes actually happened here. So that is what, if you see that, so Govardhanashtakam, you must have really sung when you really celebrated the Govardhana Puja. Yatraiva Ganga Manuna Virada Arogya Madhye Tu Nimagna Nauka Krishna hi radhanugalo babausa govardhano me dishatamabhishtam. Srimati Radhika sat in Krishna's boat in the middle of this Manasi Ganga, while Krishna, who was disguised as an old boatman, tried to sink that boat. In her fear, Radhika bound Sri Krishna in an embrace. May that Sri Govardhan fulfill all my desires. This Giri Govardhan has seen all the pastimes of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. Who are they? Both are one. Just for the Leela, they really becomes two and then perform these Leelas. And who are these gopis? They are none other than the manifestation of Radharani only. They all belong to Krishna, right? And Manasi Ganga is also the famous place to celebrate Deepavali. In fact, during the Govardhan, during the Brindavan Parikrama is basically where the Deepavali also comes. Karti Parikrama time. So devotees offer ghee lamps to the river Ganga here. Because basically here, what you really see in the lake, that's Ganga. So another secret place in Manasi Ganga is a small and broken temple. Okay, that's nearby. Hardly anyone knows. Hardly anyone knows. What I am going to tell is something secret. Actually, it's not really known to everyone at all. That place is very well known in the history of our acharyas. Who are all our acharyas? Whoever comes to Gaudiya, they have a different divine form. All our acharyas are manjaris of Radharani. That place which I mentioned, which I am not really showing here, that's a place many acharyas at some time or other in their life used to go there, knocking everybody. No one will know where he really went. And that's a place, the Siddha Deha, their eternal permanent identity of them, as their spiritual world, it will get revealed at that place. Okay? So not everyone is actually destined to go to Goloka. Only those will come under Lord Chaitanya automatically, or otherwise they won't come. It's not possible. It's not possible. And they will go somewhere. They will go to Vaikuntha or here and there. They will go. So when one is revealed with the Siddha Deha, they will know what is their eternal spiritual name. Their eternal seva in Goloka, details of their dress, the colors, the bodily color, their ornaments, and everything they will know. Oh, that is me. Once our Gurudev vanished from everyone's sight for 7 days, 1 week. Nobody knew where he went. No one could even trace. He went without telling anyone. And only later they knew that our Gurudev actually came to that same temple. Not this temple, what you see, no, it's not shown, it won't be available. It's very difficult to find out. It's a broken place actually. And later they knew that Gurudev was there. He was constantly meditating without eating, drinking or sleeping. And he saw his Siddha Deha, everything completely revealed. So he is Ramana Manjari, eternal associate of Srimati Radharani. So what you see, because this is what the picture I always use in my talks. So no one will tell their Siddha Deha until they leave their world, of course. And only their dearmost disciples of Gurudev, of course, knew this. Then we all came to know. In this famous Seva Kunj painting that you see, which was revealed by Srila Gurudev, you will see him as Ramana Manjari at the top right corner. That is his name. Okay, so his dress and his seva and all the things that's how they are. Anyway, so very near to this Manasi Ganga is also a place called Chakra Tirtha. The Chakra Tirtha is on the northern side of Manasi Ganga. And there is one Mahadev. Mahadev means Lord Shiva, Sadashiva. So this Tirtha is on the northern side of Manasi Ganga, and where this Sadashiva is residing as Chakreshwara Mahadev. So Lord Sadashiva is residing here as Chakreshwara Mahadeva. Why is Chakreshwara Mahadeva? When Lord Indra was pounding on Giri Govardhan with Lord of Rain, torrents of rain and thunders, Sadashiva came there raising his trident like a chakra. And he was rotating it with so much force that emanated so much of heat that not even a single drop of the rain from Lord Indra fell on the ground. Always so much of heat he was generating by just his rotating. So for this reason, Mahadeva became known as Chakreshwara Mahadeva, whose temple is also very nearby. And now, when Sri Krishna concluded his pastimes in this world, a desire to attain Brajabhava awoke within the heart of Sri Uddhava. Who is Uddhava? Uddhava is the Prime Minister of Dwaraka Krishna. In fact, when he was really sent to Vrindavan by Krishna to console the gopis, saying, I will come, just console them. So Uddhava said, yeah, that's the easy job. I will go there and tell them that you will come soon, soon, something like that. So he came with the determination to console the gopis, who were crying and weeping, leaving their husband, leaving their homes, leaving their everything. And they were all actually, waiting for Krishna to come. And Uddhava comes here. And when he saw the scene, he failed miserably and he declared that, no, I am not even worth of a food dust of a Braja Gopi. Their devotion is so high compared to what I have. And finally, what did he do? He said, Bande Nanda Brajastrinam Padarenum Abhikshanasa Yasam Harikadot Gitam Punati Puvanatrayam. He declared, I repeatedly offer my respects to the dust from the feet of the women of Nanda Maharaja's cowherd village. When these gopis loudly chant the glories of Sri Krishna, the vibration purifies the three worlds. I am ashamed that I thought I am the best devotee of Krishna, but I am the lowest. What did he do? So Uddhava he decided, I am not even worth to be even the dust of their feet. Their devotion is so high because they gave everything for the sake of Krishna. How many of us are really even trying to give up even one time eating? Ekadasi, we are not. But look at what gopis have really done. They sacrificed their entire lives. So he decided, I will become a blade of grass in Vrindavan. And he became a blade of grass. And this Uddhava Kunda, which you see in the foothill of Giri Govardhan, is a place where he is still residing as a blade of grass. Why? Just to get a dust particle from Radharani's feet. Actually, after some time, when Lord Krishna eventually disappeared from this world, his queens, some queens were left over, not everyone actually left the body. His queens in Dwaraka were greatly afflicted by sorrow. They wanted to, they were all feeling so much of separation. They were sad to see Krishna gone. And later, his great grandson, what is the name? Vajranabha, that I mentioned before also. He was the grandson of Dwaraka Krishna. He came here bringing all these Dwaraka queens who were left there. And he came here at this place. And he performed Sankirtana. Big Sankirtana. In that great Sankirtana, all the associates of Krishna started to appear one after another. Arjuna, see, like Krishna came, then not only that, from there, Uddhava also came. The same Uddhava who became a blade of grass also came out. And Arjuna came, Arjuna began to dance and play mridanga. Arjuna was there anyway at that time. So he was the one who was playing the mridanga. And suddenly, they all saw who? Uddhava was coming from the grass. And he also became immersed in dancing in that Maha Sankirtan. How could Krishna not come there? So Krishna had to come. And Krishna came in that for, to be part of the Maha Sankirtan Rasa, along with Srimati Radhika and other Sakhis, and after some time they all disappeared. So pilgrims, when you go Vrindavan Parikrama, think about all these things. About Uddhava, who really came from Dwaraka to console the gopis, but he miserably failed and wanted to become a blade of grass. And he is still there. And we don't know whether he has even achieved that foot dust of any gopis on his head. May not be. It is, now you can understand what the mundane Vrindavana that people see is so different than the real Vrindavan. Real Vrindavan is different. We should not go to Vrindavan just like the, going to see like a tourist. Many people really do this. And people even do not even understand the need of, strictly following Vrata. See, even to go to some temple, they really, they do known, right? I mean, in South India, it's famous, right? They 41 days, they won't really eat any meat, strict vegetarians, and, so many things they really do. But for Vrindavan, how much kind of austerity that we should have to see this holy place, which is coming from Goloka, which is the topmost of all the spiritual worlds. So in that mood we should go. Not like, that is why going to see Vrindavan, you have to better go alone. Alone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Vrindavan, he said, no, nobody should come with me. Because otherwise I cannot enjoy. I cannot cry there. I cannot roll on the grounds of Vrindavan. Or you have to go with a sadhu. Sadhu and pure devotees. Don't go with the Janala people who really come with all kinds of big ornaments and big, beautification, this and no. Why you should have only a Tulasi Mala and simple dress. And this is how we should go. Otherwise, you cannot see even a glimpse of Vrindavan. That's impossible. So it's not like going to see the Ayyappa or something, 41 days and then go. No, this is way high. Way high. You cannot see otherwise. So we have to be, the thing is to see Vrindavan Parikrama, we have to have that mood. And with that mood, then by the mercy of pure devotees and Vaishnavas, then you will have that Vrindavan will manifest in the heart. And then you can be living in that Vrindavan all the time. So with that, I want to end this here, the virtual parikrama of Govardhan part 2. As you know, it is impossible to cover all the places. It will take years to complete at this speed. Next week, we will go over the glimpses of the most sacred place called Radhakunda. Because Radhakunda is on the top, in the northern side of the Govardhan. It is like if you see that the whole Govardhan has a peacock. It is Radhakunda and Shyamakunda are like the two eyes of Govardhan, of that peacock. Or if you see that as a cow, cow which is lying, you can see that as a two eyes also. So this is how they really picture there. And again, as you know, you have to understand this Vrindavan, this Brajamandal is not ordinary. It does not belong to this world. It is a manifestation coming from all the way from spiritual world. Vrindavan is spiritual, not material. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vanja kalpa sarvescha kripa sindhupyevacha paritanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
बलगिरिराज महाराज की जय, बलगिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तेरे कानन कुंडल सोहे रहे।
तेरे कानन कुंडल सोह रहे।
तेरे कानन कुंडल सोहे रहे।
तेरे कानन कुंडल सोह रहे।
और गले बैजंती माल और माल तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तेरे मुख पे मुरलिया सोह रही।
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 थोड़ी थोड़ी पे हीरा लाल और लाल तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तेरे अंग में जामा केसरिया।
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 और पट का लाल गुलाल और गुलाल तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तो पे पान चढ़े और फूल चढ़े।
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 तो पे जिए जरे दिन रात तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तेरे मानस गंगा निकट बहे,
तेरे मानस गंगा निकट बहे,
तेरे मानस गंगा निकट बहे,
तेरे मानस गंगा निकट बहे।
तुप चढ़े दूध की धार और धार, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
तेरी सात कोस की परिक्रमा,
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 तेरी सात कोस की परिक्रमा।
और चकले सर विश्राम विश्राम, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो।
श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट विराज रहो। श्री गोवर्धन महाराज महाराज, तेरे माथे मुकुट